How you doing? Been a bunch of you wanting to see how saws are put together. Well, I'm going to show you. Uh, for all intents and purposes, this is Yank doodles, your saw buddy. We did videos last couple days, but we haven't put them up. We just stored them. Been a real lot going on here. Okay, we're going to jump right into it. I've already got the bearings and the seals in these cases. Okay, I'll tell you what why that I'm doing this is looking at my time constraint of trying to do this on a phone. From here on out, they're going to be GoPro, so you're going to miss a few days before you see them, and then you'll probably see it mostly in its entirety. But I'm going to get you started on this, okay? The first thing is make sure your pins are in the same side. It don't matter which. And then get your gasket on. If you got a nice, soft, pliable gasket, don't worry about oil in it. But if it's harder, just get a little two-stroke oil on it and let it soak in. You just do it with your finger, and that's all you need to do. We've got a nice crank here. I mean, it's nice. I mean, that's not no color. Everything's nice. I'm going to show you something here. I didn't even think about this. This is one of them Farmer Tech Hudson Farmer cranks. Don't run them. Just don't. See that groove in the bottom of that rod right there? That weakens that severely. Husqvarna knows what they're doing. See, we got a good OEM Husqvarna. A very good crank. Okay. Don't run them. They don't hold up. That rod stretches and that bearing goes bad. You get one where it's tuned up and running good, and you decide to do a little port work, it's going to come apart. Don't run their pistons or their cranks. If you will change your top end, and when you build one of them saws, and you'll put a Husqvarna crank, even a good used one in one of them Farmer Techs, I'm going to tell you, you just build a saw. You really did. Anything from there, you can do what's externally as things crop up like any saw, you can go ahead and fix. But you can't fix junk. Okay, now that I started in on something I completely didn't have a clue about, okay, your big end is your clutch end. We know that. Okay, this right here always identifies that this is the side that's the clutch because that's where the chain brake goes. I know that. Okay, you just start right out. You drop that little bugger in right there. Now, when you get done, that's actually going in. Right now it's trying to, okay, it's got to that stiff spot. Make sure your rod's sticking up, because if you let that rod drop down like that, you ain't gonna like it. Okay, I know there's people out there selling small thread and washers and one thing and the other and saying they're crank installation tools. This is the factory stuff. This is what dealers use. Okay, there's a reason for that. Okay, now that just screws right on. That's left-hand thread. Okay. You screw it right down. You hold your crank straight up and down. It'll tell you when it's heading now. Okay, that's all you do right there. In today's fantastic little world, I'm going to use a socket to get myself away just a little bit. I'm going to anchor with a wrench. This nut that you see me messing with right here, what that's for is to draw that crank in. I'm going to get it started, make sure my rod's up. This is how easy it is. You don't mess around with that. Okay, rod straight up. Okay. We just got to make sure when we get to that point, that rod stays straight up. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let my wrench slip down to the bottom. Lock it on my bench. Grab my little rod. Whip her right up. Come on, you little bugger. You get a point there. If you don't get that, you get in trouble. Just trust me, I've done it. Come right on in. What could be easier than that, eh? It does something. Just comes right on in. Okay, that tells me that's seated. Back my nut off. Okay, nut's backed off. And I unscrew that from the crank. Why would you not do that? Why would you not use that tool? Why would you try to redesign the wheel? Don't do that. Don't. If you got nothing else, you want to use some washers and all thread, make sure that you're supporting that bearing on the outside right there. Don't freaking load that. You can, when you put the bearing in, it's okay. It gets low when you're pulling the crank, but it's not surface to hurt anything, okay? And there's one side. That's what they look like, you know? Anything you do, make sure they're rolling good, which we got a good roller right there, guaranteed. We got a nice set of bearings in this, by the way. We really do. And this can get a little tricky. I know it. It's no big deal. Let's match them up the best you can. You don't get real concerned right now about lining things up. You're going on a little bit. What you're going to do is going to put a bolt in. Alright? That's exactly what you're going to do. I say I'm going to keep your cases lined up. Yeah, there we go. Isn't it funny how you can do this a million times, but the minute you get in front of a camera, things will go haywire. Not anything wrong here. It's just a normal everyday life thing. You'll find that them bolts have a point on them, and I'll show you here in just a minute. And you're thinking, well, why don't I just draw that with bolts? Why would you? You got tools. Okay. I mean, I suppose you could, but why would you? Okay, now what we're going to do is take the roll apart. Okay. See, that ridge right there goes over this flange right here. It fits nice. You're not pulling on the wrong thing. You know what I mean? These chainsaws are tough, but I'm gonna tell you, in these stages right here, they can be kind of fragile. I'm just warning you, and they believe me, they can. Okay, we want to switch to the one that goes on the flywheel. Okay, so that goes on the flywheel. So what I do, just spin my old nut on. It's actually great fun doing this. Don't get real concerned. These tools are not expensive. They ain't like you think. Okay, they just ain't. You put your washer on your nut so that when it's going here, it doesn't gall that piece, and then you just spin that old bugger right on. Now we've got one bolt in just because. Okay, you know that. You know what we're doing here. Okay, now we've become tight. Right back to the old wrench thing. And we're going to draw this one out. Okay, now we got her cooking now. This is all you got to do. Now, the whole time, what I'm doing is watching to make sure when my pins come up, they're in good shape. And they are. Okay, see, we identified our gasket's coming right into play nice. Everything's kind of cooking like it's supposed to. Okay. Now what we're going to do, make sure I got a crank goes nice and easy. What we're trying to do is eyeball that, make sure that I've got that crank centered. And I can tell you right now, this one's pretty good. Maybe I could swat it back just a bit. Yeah, okay, if you look, it's a little close on this side over here, and I got a little room on there. You see that? Just a little close. While your tool is in there and you back that nut off, give that up like that. Okay, you'll do that sometimes a couple times to make sure that that's right, but I can tell you right now I'm in pretty good shape there. Give it a little more. Just that little bit. With that, it frees up them bearings. You can tell. I mean, it just does. Love it. Doesn't make too long of a job, does it? Okay, now what I do so I don't lose stuff. Just back off of here. The only thing you're changing is the bolt, okay? That's the same piece, okay? I'm just putting that back together so that a little trick to keeping that all together. Thread that halfway on one, halfway on the other, okay? See that? But they didn't teach you that in school, did they? Okay, that goes back in my drawer. Okay, that's back in my drawer. Oh, geez, you know what we need to do? We have got to get some bolts in. 6 case bolts. See the taper on them? That's the factory case bolts. Once in a while, you'll get an oddball. These little T-wrenches, I'm going to tell you right now, they help you like you don't know. You just touch. Don't get carried away. Bring it up where they just touch. We had a nice soft gasket. That'll seal good. Some people don't like them green gaskets, but you know, I'll tell you what. This series saw has been known to leak the oil tanks right from the factory. And I don't know if it was just luck or what, but them green gaskets, so far I haven't had any leak. If you get a hard gasket, I'll tell you quite honestly, I'll use a little sealer, just the lightest little bit on them, you know. They make stuff that's a spray. But I kind of stick to one brand of sealer. A lot of people use that that 1187 like Walt uses on A Fleet Command. I'm going to tell you what, he's the guy to watch put these saws together. He's very, very detailed. He really gets down to business. He does a great job. I've never met the man. He only lives 2.5 hours something from me, but I never met the man. But I like watching his videos. He's one of them that I do. In fact, there's several of you guys out there that I watch. Okay, now I start cranking these, kind of like you're torquing a head, you know. Just a little start here and a little start there. You can't forget this little bugger out here. That's your 6th one. That's your wild card. I'm going to try to keep this video short so we can get it up. But there's one more thing after I get these case bolts tight that I want you to know. I'll actually go back in about another hour or two and I'll just feel these, make sure they're right. Because you got no second chance on them. Okay, here's your deal, guys. If I ain't lost the darn thing, right here it is. See that little bugger? That is your sealing surface right there. This end goes right against the crank. I'm going to show you a little trick. Husqvarna made the teeny tiniest little O-ring that went in there. And you know what happens when that saw it's taken care of and runs good for a long time? That little O-ring just goes away on them. Okay, what this stuff is here is it's motorcycle assembly silicone. Okay, you can go to any motorcycle dealer and they'll sell you a tube of this stuff. It's for assembling motorcycle engines, one thing or another. And all you're doing is just the slightest little bit like that. That's it. That's all you're doing. You don't want to do no more than that. Okay, now here's now that crank is stupid clean right now. I didn't want any oil on that. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, I'm putting just a little dribble of oil on this. And I'm making sure I don't get it. If I would have tipped that the other way, that'd run right down that silicone. Okay, this goes in your seal. You rotate that in your seal. That's all you do. Just give her a little push. Okay, the seal's in. Now, when I'm ready to go further, I'll actually put a little 2-stroke oil down in the bearings and one thing or another. I generally don't load that in till just before that I put the piston on, the drop cylinder on, because oil collects grease. This is where I stop right here. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it helped you. It's nothing to it. This is a seal driver that the factory tool you can use, and I'll tell you what, I find that you need to get that started with something else. The seal installation tool, a little different one, or I use a socket a lot of times. This is for removing your clutch. Okay, that just fits right in that clutch, and that'll spin that right off. Remember what direction the clutch is turned. All right, I'm going to show you something. You want to beat and bang and hammer, don't do it. This is your case splitting tool. I'm just going to set it up and show you, give you the idea. That drops, you got your rod right up and down. That drops right between that rod. And then you just, like that. Okay, I'm not going to do anything. I'm letting you know that's what that does. When them screws are out, that pops that crank off. Boom, just like that. These are like $50. You can get them right at Wolf Creek saw shop. In fact, I think no, this one didn't come from there. I have another one that did. And okay, this is about it right here. That wasn't too hard for that part, was it? Okay, I've got the cylinder partially ported as far as I dare without getting data numbers. At this point here, what I'm going to do, and we're going to continue on with GoPro on this today, is I'm going to install the oil pump, flywheel, and all that. Get your little tray here, and one thing another, and put the gas tank on. That'll probably be one video, and then I'll go ahead and we'll just keep rolling, throw the ignition in. I'll try to show you all the tricks that I can, and I'm glad you have the interest in this. I really am. I really enjoy doing this kind of work, and I think a lot of you out there, it's not for everybody. It's just not. You know, I can't work behind a desk. So if you can, you got a one up on me. I'll guarantee. We all put on this earth for a different reason, it looks like, and sometimes our paths will go ahead and align. And I want to show you a little something. What do you think of that? Now we got 2 iron horses in here working on these saws. This is my little buddy. I tell you, I talk to him sometimes. Like, what the heck did you do, iron horse? And he just sits there and don't say nothing. Okay, goodbye for now. That's a pretty long video.